we've talked about it in the past, Doug. I don't think this team is cocky enough.
Drazah, how do you see the competition right now? Are there 3 teams at the top, 4 teams at the top? Who do you think competes for the title come Miami in 2 weeks?
Honestly, it's just us in Toronto, but as you've seen, we just 3-0'd them, so I think they're ass, and we're on top.
Hey, all right. And this is what I'm saying. If you want to have a rivalry, I'm down, bro. Like, you know what it is. We need some rivals. This boring as sometimes playing each other.
Like, we all have this mental, like, that we're just the best. Like, even if we have, like, a bad series, the next day, we're just super confident.
Fellow last alive, and he is dropped. It's a 6-1 victory. Legion making a statement.
GG's are the Ravens. I don't know what's going on with Clay. My feeling is, as with many people, that this online cult stuff is just for the birds as far as these OG guys are concerned. But unfortunately, that's life at the moment.
I will say this. I think he needs superstar stripped. He's not a superstar in my opinion.
Shots? Oh, that's crazy.
Well, this whole thing with me being a superstar, I could give 2 what to talk about. Because I know what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't affect me. Oh, fuck.
Major 2 Miami is right around the corner, and the Call of Duty League is getting really interesting. There's been a lot of storylines and rivalries that have been forming, and at Major 2 is going to come full circle. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down all the highlights from Major 2 as we get ready for Thursday. Everything started crashing down when Ake said this on a podcast when talking about FaZe's season.
I don't think this team is cocky enough, honestly. Like, I think they're aware of how good they are on a talent perspective, but I don't think they're cocky enough to where they walk into the venue and they're like, we're the best team here and we're winning this event.
I don't know if this was a direct cause. FaZe, especially Drazah, just started firing off at everyone. On March 3rd, they played Toronto Ultra, which are the top 2 teams in the game, but FaZe ended up dominating the series and winning 3-0. And after this, Drazah went rogue, and he said this in the post-game interview.
Honestly, it's just us in Toronto, but as you've seen, we just 3-0'd them, so I think they're ass, and we're on top.
He even took it to Twitter where him and Scrap went back and forth, and even their girlfriends started going back and forth, and things started to get really personal. Definitely crossed the line of just like normal COD trash talk, but it led to a pretty crazy Twitter war, and Scrap ended up deleting the tweets, and Drazah started cooking him for it. And as this beef was building, Scrap had this to say regarding the whole situation.
I DM'd him. I said, bro, I completely understand. I f***ed up. You know, I took it too far. You know, if the line was like the 50-yard line, I probably hit about like the opposite 30, you know what I mean? So like, if we talk in-game, you know what I mean, between me and Drazah, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like, I respect that. If we want to have a rivalry, I'm down, bro. Like, you know.
And then Drazah just left with this cryptic tweet and said, can't wait for the rest of the season. So this is probably the biggest rivalry during Major 2, and I'm really excited to see it because Toronto and FaZe are the top 2 teams in the game. And now the fact that this beef has gotten personal, I can't lie, it's made me want to watch the match even more. I'm interested to see how things play out. This was just a crazy situation overall. FaZe versus Ultra is going to be crazy this Major. Now, Toronto and Ultra are the top 2 teams in the game, but there's 2 teams that are really close behind them. While Drazah has been roasting pretty much every team in the league, he took a shot at NYSL. And
That comment then, what went wrong against the subliners? Was it just that last S&D?
I think they just exposed our S&D, and that's why we worked so hard on it and showed an S&D dub today. So, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I think they're still ass too, but...
Dashy started instigating on Twitter saying, hey, Kiz, did you hear what Drazah said in the post-match interview by chance? He said, I back beef. They shot my body map 3. I won that. Now I'm bad. Noted. The season started really slow for NYSL. Going into Modern Warfare 3, at the Major 1 LAN, they placed top 12th, which pretty much shocked everyone, but it also caused a lot of criticism, people saying that they made the wrong change picking up Sib and that the team wasn't like they were last year. But they obviously have talent on their team, and they've been showing it throughout Major 2. Despite losing to OpTic yesterday, which was a crazy match, they won every match during a Major, and they proved that them and OpTic are 3rd and 4th in the league, trying to show this Major that they are serious contenders of being the best team in the game. It's funny that Drazah brought NYSL into it as well, and all the storylines kind of intertwine in a weird way. If you remember last year at the 2023 MW2 champs, before Scrap played them, he pretty much roasted the whole NYSL squad and said the only reason that they were good was because of Hydra. And Kismet and the rest of NYSL took it personally, and Kismet was frying the entire champ series, even winning champs MVP, and it was an insane series. NYSL dominated the whole thing. So I don't know if I want to start beef with NYSL, because no matter matter what people say about them, they could always come out and make an insane tournament run. I mean, despite having a bad Major 1, they still feel like they're one of the best teams in the game. And this is what Sky said regarding the whole thing.
Like, we've been through everything. So, like, we've been reverse sweeped. We've 3-0'd. We've done everything together. And, like, we all have this mental, like, that we're just the best. Like, even if we have like a bad series, the next day we're just super confident.
And during the regular season, they're currently sitting at 4th, pretty comfortably, with the closest person behind them being Minnesota Rocker. So we'll see if they could bounce back from Major 1 land. So NYSL is definitely trending upward, and this is where it kind of stands right now. But a team that has been down bad lately has definitely been the Carolina Royal Ravens, and it hurts my heart to say it. With this potentially being Clayster's final year playing pro Call of Duty, I feel like the whole community wanted to see him do well on a team, and I was pretty optimistic at the beginning of the season. It seems like the team chemistry isn't there, and like for some of the series, like when they played Legion last weekend, it just seemed like they were defeated before the match even started, and you could kind of tell by all the body language of the players, like nobody was hyped up or anything like that, and they ended up getting 3-0'd. As it stands right now for the qualifiers, Carolina is 2-5, and after the series against Vegas Legion, which should have been a lot closer of a series than it was, Quinn, who is a rising star on the Ravens, pretty much lost full and tweeted afterwards, "I don't know how we lost to Vegas, but whatever, GG's." After receiving some criticism saying, "I haven't even accomplished nothing, that's a fact, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm the best player in the lobby and feel like we shouldn't be losing. I don't care if I hurt their feelings, we suck right now." And I understand wanting to be competitive and having that competitive mindset that you're the best player in the game. I just think when your team is in the position that it's in, it's better to just stay locked in and focus on the things that you got to improve with your team, even knowing that you're a great player. It is kind of sad how the Ravens season has unfolded, and I'm really hoping that they can turn things around at Major 2. Tactical Rab actually said something and said that Clay looks like he isn't having as much fun playing Call of Duty, and it could turn into one of those situations like Scump last year where he retired mid-season. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen, but I think Major 2 is going to be one of the most important events for Clayster, because this could definitely change the trajectory of the rest of the season for him. So let's hope that Clayster and Carolina can bounce back, because they have a talented team. They just got to put it together, and even if they can't, there's so many players and challengers that could get picked up and be on a roster that would improve the team's stock so much. But best of luck to Clayster and the Royal Ravens this Major 2. On another note, a team that has been making some serious waves in the COD League, and that's none other than OpTic Texas. They went crazy this Major, going 7-0 online, and they're looking to carry that on into the Major 2 LAN event. There's been a lot of drama around the league where, especially from Aches on the flank, he said that Shotzi is not a superstar, and he's been saying this even since MW2. But Shotzi had a legacy series against Toronto Ultra last weekend, and that really proved itself during map 3 when he dropped a 3.25 KD, and this was probably one of my favorite series from the Major 2 online qualifier. They were so dominant in the S&Ds and ended up pulling it off against one of the top teams in the game. But following this match, Aches still continued to say that Shotzi was not a superstar despite his insane performances. And this is just this is a debate. It goes either way. You could say he is or he's not. I don't even really think it matters like if he's considered a star or a superstar. I think that we kind of overplay these words a little bit too much. Shotzi carried a similar sentiment when he said this during one of his live streams.
This whole thing with me being a superstar, I could give two what they talk about. I know what I'm capable of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit doesn't affect me. Oh.
And it seems like he's not really focused on individual accolades right now. He just wants to win, and that's what OpTic needs to do at this Major 2 event. Because the last time OpTic won a major LAN event was the first major during Call of Duty Vanguard, which was over 2 years ago. I mean, they've had so much hype around them, and they have so much talent on their team. It's just hard to think that they haven't won a major within 2 years with the teams that they've come up with. But they've been looking really dominant during Major 2, and Aches always has some crazy takes, but it makes the COD League conversation so much more interesting. Like I said, at the end of the day, what matters is who's holding the trophy at Major 2, and we can worry about the superstar, star, all that stuff later. I think the biggest issues for OpTic are obviously going to be FaZe, Ultra, and NYSL. Other than that, I really don't see a team upsetting them. I'm not going to go through every single team in this video, but there are 2 more teams that have stood out to me during the major qualifier. Some teams that I really think can make some statements going throughout the rest of the year, and those 2 teams are Vegas Legion and Los Angeles Thieves. I think the biggest problem with the league right now, and the reason why it's not as entertaining, is because how top heavy the league is. Everybody knows these these top 4 teams are going to go in and win an event. And it seems like the other teams are just fighting for 5th and 6th place. And for some teams that are in the league, some of the bottom teams, they don't even try to become popular or anything like that. They're just pretty complacent. Like when I see some of the like player intros and the media around the teams, it feels like they don't even want to be a part of the league for real. I just wish some of these teams would put more effort into their players, because I think it will make them want to play the game more and play for the organization even more and want to become better. Like it will be motivating to know that the people behind you are seriously rooting for you. And I'm afraid that's going to happen to some players this year. So starting with Vegas Legion, they dropped Standy after the last major, which was pretty controversial around the league because Purge was playing bad, but their new pickup Geo and Purge himself have both stepped up in major ways during this online qualifier. They're trending upwards to become the 5th best team in the league. And I mentioned the Carolina Legion match earlier. These were some of the stats from the Legion squad. I mean, Purge had a great series, dropping a 1.13 and doing things like this.
You can see him on the x-ray just right behind the door, and he's going to find the first one. That'll slow things down here. 13 lives remaining here for Carolina, and there is Purge just finessing, leading the way with 21 in the lobby.
And Attach has been extremely consistent and is definitely the leader of the squad. And it looks like Purge and Geo are becoming pretty nasty at the game. So we'll see if during the Major 2 LAN, they can really make things happen. Throughout the online qualifier, they ended up going 5-2, tying Ultra and FaZe in records. But unfortunately, they played Toronto Ultra first round, so it's going to be a rough one. But we'll definitely have to wait and see what happens. And another team that has been on my radar was the LA Thieves. They have been looking a little better since the beginning of the season, but I'm not sure they're going to make any crazy waves in the COD League. They have been playing better though, ever since picking up Nasty and Crump. Thieves actually beat Legion 3-1 last weekend, showing that they're in the race for 5th place. But Ghosty will need to step up in that leadership role, and Crump and Nasty are going to need to prove that they belong in the league. This is going to be their first major LAN event, so it's kind of hard to say like how good they actually are until we see them play on LAN. But LA Thieves in the COD League has been a roller coaster of emotions. But this is the current state of Call of Duty. And speaking of, I gotta show you guys this clip before the video ends.
I'm going back out. Someone's mic going back out. Free, mute your fucking mic, please. Going back up, guys. Top fire, weak. Top fire, there's 2. One's absolute.
There was a ref doing dishes. Like, you need to do, like, I understand. You need to do dishes at the end of the day. But it was just funny because the ref was doing dishes during a live pro match. And during the OpTic podcast, they were talking about how this is the current state of Call of Duty, which I think is pretty accurate when it comes to the game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, at Major 2, it will all come full circle. I'm going to the Major 2 event, so I'm really excited to see everything unfold live. This will be the second ever event I've went to, so I'm really excited. But who do you guys think is gonna win Major 2? Breaking Point actually came out with a bracket, and I filled it out, so this is what's on the screen right now is my bracket to who I think is going to win. Since I'm going to be there in person, I want to see OpTic win, but I also need to see that Ultra and FaZe matchup. So I was really conflicted on who I wanted to see in the grand finals, and FaZe hasn't won a grand finals in a while, so could come out with a win. But let me know what you guys think down below, who's going to win Major 2. With that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.